Week 4 of the challenge. We're halfway there. And for me personally, the process has been going really well. I've seen a lot of other individuals do very well so far. And it's exciting to see. I already kind of named a winner or two because it's just like when you make drastic changes at this speed, and you're doing something right, I feel. But at the same time, I feel like everyone individually has their own schedule, their own timing of when they're going to lose weight, depending on their metabolism, their hormones, their training methods. All of us are different individuals. Someone who trains 6 times a week incorrectly is definitely not going to gain as much as the person who trains 3 times a week correctly. So there's things here and there that are a factor into the timing of it. So everyone in 4 months, 4 weeks, everyone can have a different result for their body depending on what they do and how they do it. Somebody might be losing weight 5 pounds, not even 5 pounds, half a pound a week from doing a lot of cardio. And you have someone else who's doing a pound a week from doing almost no cardio, just lifting and diet. So depending how you do things, of course, everyone's timing is different. Everyone's results are going to be different. But the results, that's why I feel that you need minimum, I feel, of a full month, 4 weeks of being on a program in order to see results, in order to know where you need to make adjustments. Because your body, if you've never been on a plan or a diet or training or with a trainer or anything like that, you've had years to build up your tolerance and your food intake of what you eat now. If you have to literally change all that, you have to go from unhealthy to healthy drastically. That change in your body, first of all, the mental change is what it's the hardest part, because you're so used to one thing. So your body craves that one thing. You crave it because that's what made you happy. That's what makes you enjoyable. I love burgers, fries, and pizza. That's what I grew up on. So that satisfied me more than my mom's plate at home or anyone else's plate. That will satisfy me more. That will keep me fuller. But mentally, you first gotta fucking break that in order to move forward. Because your mental will break you, right? Or break you trying to be healthy. So you have to kind of, stick to that first. Change the mental. After that, then you can still do other changes. But it's a drastic change. Like I said, if you're not used to it, it's going to take some time. So you can't just expect fast results for everyone in a week or two. So let's say you start eating healthy, right? Let's say all you did was junk food and now you got to eat healthy. One, it's intimidating as shit, because are you going to be full? Is it going to satisfy you? Like, is it going to taste good? That's what we all worry about. Is it going to fucking taste good? But anyway, let's say you can get past that phase and you can do it and you start doing your different routine. Your body now has to adjust to that. Your body, your digestive system, your nervous system, your respiratory system, all the functions have to readjust and adapt to the new food that you're putting into it, the new fuel that you're putting into it, because it's not the same as what you were putting in before. If all I ate was junk food and sodas and pizza and stuff like I did before, my body was used to processing, digesting, and my physical appearance was changing because of what I was eating. So my body was getting used to it. I was getting used to just drinking soda. So my body just knew what it needed to do in order to do it. Was it keeping the body in the best shape? Obviously not, and definitely within time will not help my health to fight other things or just to maintain healthy status. So your body's gonna first change to healthy food out of nowhere because you're just not used to it, and your body isn't either. You might not like eating vegetables, and the minute you start eating vegetables, you might go maybe a first week or two going to the bathroom a little bit more than you've ever thought you've gone on a daily. Now that could be because your body's just so used to processing processed foods, it works differently. Now with food that comes with fiber, the very thing that helps our digestive and helps us use the bathroom without problems, now the body's on overload, doesn't know what the fuck to do. Has never know if this is foreign, and it's going to process it even faster if anything, or possibly even slower, depending what it is that you eat. Protein. Your body, because if you've never really had any proper eating, your body most likely does not have enough protein. So now your body will take the protein in a much different way it took fat or carbs. If you get the right amount, now your body's going to change and adapt to that. If you take your fats and go from unhealthy fats to healthy fats, now your body has to adapt to that. That process is going to take some time before you can see any results or before you can feel a good result, because it's about feeling it good. You want to look good, but you got to feel good. It's about being healthy at the end of the day. Fuck. So I strongly believe that it takes at least a month, because then comes the training. If you've never been to a gym before, or just not as experienced, if you have some guidance from someone who does know, like a trainer or a workout partner, or you did your research on YouTube and started watching videos and started learning, and so when you got to the gym, you knew what to do. That's going to take some time to adjust to your body as well. Some people quit because they get so sore the first few days. It's like, I don't want to do this if this is how it feels. But you've never done this before. So your body doesn't know what the fuck to feel. First of all, when you're exercising, you're tearing some muscle. And then you have to repair it. Then it grows. So when it tears, it fucking hurts. But when it grows, it looks good. So that is part of the process. If it don't hurt, it don't work. Don't get injured though. So definitely timing for everyone is individually different depending how hard you go, your intensity. I can give two people the same training program, but if the individual on the left doesn't push as hard as the individual on the right, it's possible that we're going to get different results, right? Because it depends how hard you push too, how well you go, how well you keep your form, and things like that. So everyone is different within timing of seeing results. Not everyone's the same. Just remember that. Training splits, training programs, bro splits, push-pull legs, whatever you want to call it or look for. I would always suggest in the very beginning, you stick to a plan or at least the same basic exercises or workouts for at least minimum 2 to 3 weeks. And that's just because if you start bouncing around to shit, oh, let me try this one, I'm going to try this one, I'm going to try something different, you kind of don't know where your strengths are, because every day is a different day and every day can result differently. And if you're just moving around, you can forget what you pulled doing lap pulls and then think that you come back and do something else. And you know what I mean? It should be consistent. It should be the same shit for at least 2 to 3 weeks, because then you can see whether you're increasing power, strength, form, and what kind of adjustments we need to do with food as well. Your body's getting used to the food, but it's also getting used to the training that it's doing. So depending on how your split is, things vary. So I enjoy push-pull legs. I can set up probably any program for whoever, if somebody wants to do more legs than they do upper body, I can do that. It's just depending on what the person wants and what outcome what kind of results you really want, and how well you work the plan. Because if you're doing, like, let's say, chest a little too much, you could be hurting yourself instead of gaining. You know what I mean? You got to give your body proper time to rest. So all that training programming and stuff like that's important too, along with your metabolism and getting used to it. You got to get used to the specific exercises. That's the only way to learn. Some exercises are uncomfortable, some are awkward. I've done some shit that is just like way awkward. It's like, kind of want to do these, but at some spots it's necessary, and others there's other alternatives. That's the good thing about training, I feel, and bodybuilding, is that you can find, and weightlifting, that you can find alternatives to hit certain specific muscle groups. Because I know there's for me personally, there's some exercises that just don't feel right. It just doesn't. Sometimes it doesn't activate the muscle right. Sometimes I just feel uncomfortable. Sometimes I feel pain in certain spots. So there's alternatives for things like that, for those kind of roadblocks, if you will. So, a lot of times a shoulder press or something like that could be harsh on your with dumbbells, just because of the fact you're just trying to get it up. You can hurt yourself. Well, instead of trying to get the dumbbells up and you still want to get a good shoulder workout, why don't you just do machine press? It's a little different, but it's more assisted, where you're already in position. You're not hurting yourself to be in position. You know what I mean? So it all depends what you like, what you don't like. Definitely find alternatives. Another good reason to have alternatives. This is what happened. Why I had to look for many alternatives. So I would go to the gym, and it would be limited stuff, limited dumbbells available at the time because of COVID and shit like that. So things were scattered. But if I couldn't do one exercise, I needed to figure out another way to do the same exercise, but hitting it, or hitting the same muscle group differently, in a different way, but still getting the same activation from it. So you got to find good variations for almost the same thing to make it fun, but also to be ready to do the shit. Got to put in work. What type of training are you even into? Because that's another thing. There's bodybuilding. There's obviously weightlifting. There's powerlifting. There's strongman. There's just regular calisthenics. There's Pilates. There's CrossFit. There's all kinds of ways to train. So really, it's finding what works for you and what you enjoy, what you think you're good at. I used to start off doing a lot of calisthenics, and I wanted to be calisthenics strong. And then I started more drifting over to bodybuilding as I started to see what it really takes to not just be strong, but look strong, to have the physique and just the overall presentation of one's body. I'm a cocky motherfucker, so I actually like presenting myself. So the fact that I can now present myself with better outcome. It's why bodybuilding is for me and why I train with a lot of intensity, volume. But I also do, I also aim for high deadlifting times, squats, presses. It all depends how you fit it in, but you can't. I think you have to stay dedicated to one or the other, because if not, plans can be different, results can be different, and yeah, I think everything overall will be a little, depending. I have clients that will eat differently depending on their activity levels. Some who work more than others, or are more active, more on their feet, while others are sitting more. Some that don't stop fucking walking around, stuff like that. So, depending on your training too, besides your body getting used to it, and besides you getting used to your training splits, is what kind of training do you want to do? You could even do boxing and get a massive workout with that. You're still gonna build strength and have your cardio in, just like going to the gym. But it's a different type of fitness. It's a different type of activity. Whatever it is that you do choose to do, just give it 100%, because that's the only way you're gonna see results. It's the only way you're gonna get somewhere. It's the only way you're gonna be happy with what you did. And you're never limited. You're never limited to anything. Just because I bodybuild, my focus is more on that, doesn't mean that every now and then I don't like to dab into the powerlifting, straight mean one deadlift rep and all that shit. It's fun. But also you gotta know when and when not to do certain things, because you can get injured, and you can get. And perfect example. Sometimes I deadlift too heavy, and I end up hurting myself just a little bit in the back, and then that affects my training later. But I also know how to go a little bit less for certain things in order to heal, recover, and get back into pulling insane weight. You know what I mean? So, know your training, know your metabolism. All takes time. Everyone is different. Um, Training splits are different depending on what you want, what your coach puts you on, what improvements you need, and don't rush things. So stick to the plan, and yeah, it'll all work out. It works if you work.